Hey everybody, BB here, Olympic View Property Services. Today I'm talking about my favorite topic, documentation. Ask anyone who works for me, I love documentation. In fact, our site manager and our property manager operations manual down in the footer on every single page of the whole thing, and I say this all the time, is if it's not documented, it did not happen. Okay? Because that's going to be the fact if you go to court. Where's the documentation? I can't just believe what you're saying to me with your mouth. I need it written down and date stamped with a name so we know what happened. Okay? So, what needs to be documented? In short, everything. Every interaction with a tenant, a vendor, a contractor, the owner. If you're a manager, you're a site manager, every conversation with the owner. Now, if you're the owner, every conversation you have with your property manager, every conversation you have with your site manager, who said what, when, why, who's gonna do what. Okay? And this is, yes, there's the obvious legality of things. Okay? But generally, things don't go to that extreme. All right? So the benefit is the legality, CYA. If you don't know what that is, look it up. But that's one of the main reasons. Number two is when you have 300 units, okay, and everything's happening at all the time, you're not going to remember. You're not going to remember what tenant said what to who, and you've got information coming from all. You've got phone calls, in person, text messages, emails coming at you in every direction all day, every day. Okay, you get text messages in at 12 o'clock at night. It's not possible to remember it all, okay, in your head or in a notebook. So document it in a system, and so that you can look back and say, okay, that contractor said he's going to be here Wednesday. I thought in my head it was Tuesday, but he told me on Wednesday last week because of whatever. And then you know, before you yell at the vendor or the contractor for being a day late, and he's like, I told you Wednesday. Okay, it's all documented, you know what's going on, okay? This is so very important, okay? Documenting your application process and every step that you take within that. Okay, so when someone applies for your property, you are documenting every attempt to get the proof of income. You are documenting your attempt to contact their previous landlord, and you are documenting the reason you are approving or not approving that application. If someone comes back to you and says, I was qualified for this unit, you didn't rent to me because of some fair housing violation, you are going to thank me that you have documented, like, look, I called you 3 times, I emailed you requesting proof of income, you didn't provide it to me in a timely fashion, I have other people, and because I have a documented application process, I clearly state that you have 5 days to get me this information, or that your application is not complete until I have all this information. And so I was accepting other applications, and this applicant got me the full application before you did. There's nothing that I can do, and it's all documented. I'm sorry that happened. Any fair housing representative would look at that and most likely not take you to court. Maybe they still would, but when you get to court, you have all of this documentation. I can't guarantee you're going to win the case, obviously, but you're going to be prepared for that case at all times. And that's a big fine, a big fine. if you have a fair housing violation, it's just not something you want, and most likely you didn't mean to do anything. So go ahead and document all your process. Okay, the other big one, which I talked about in the rent increases, is a documented system for analyzing market rent and when rent increase letters go out. Okay, because if you get accused of retaliation, meaning you're increasing someone's rent because of something they did or didn't do, or they were late 2 months ago, so now you're raising their rent because they were late on their rent, or because they put in a maintenance request, or their boyfriend moved in, or whatever the case is, they can come and accuse you of retaliating against them and you're raising their rent because of something. That's a big no-no. You're not allowed to do that. Okay, so you need to have a systemized process This is how I, analyze rents, when I analyze rents, and here's my paper trail showing that I do this every month consistently, so it has nothing to do with you or anyone else. I'm not retaliating, I'm just doing my job. I'm just running my business the way I set up in my documented processes and procedures. So the importance of documentation is paramount. I can't go on about it enough. When in doubt, document. Okay, that's another one that I like to use a lot. When in doubt, document. The other one is if it's not documented, it didn't happen. That's my favorite one. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. I just noticed my cat has been in the background the entire time. I hope you enjoyed her presence during this video. Thanks for watching.